All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Sponge. This is Sponge's Tech Tips, and it is a beautiful day up here in Woodinville, Washington State. It's about 75 to 80 degrees out in the sun, beautiful blue skies. In the shade's about 65, so I found myself a nice little spot in the shade to work today. Still working on our 2008 Honda Pilot complete interior swap. We've got a low mileage 2008 Honda Pilot that the interior was damaged by some sort of animal of sorts. And then we have a high mileage Honda Passport that was in really good shape interior wise, but it has a bad motor. And so we are taking the entire interior out of this vehicle and putting it into the low mileage one. Today, or this video I should say, because we're doing a lot today, but in this video we are going to be doing the steering column panel remover, and we are going to be removing the clock spring, and that unit also includes your control arm for your headlights and blinkers, and then it also your windshield wiper controls. Okay, tools we're going to need. We're going to need a couple Phillips head screwdrivers. Number 2 is best, but a little longer helps. The stubby is, I always keep it around, but it's not my favorite. You're going to need some zip ties, or possibly some little wire, like baling wire, or in worst case scenario, maybe some tape. I just don't trust the tape too much, and that's what we're going to use to hold our clock spring in place when we remove it. If your clock spring is broken, you don't need that because it's broken and you don't need to worry about breaking it. But ours is in good shape, so we're going to try to save it. So first thing we are going to do is underneath the steering column, you have 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. The 2 front ones up here are the same. They are into plastic. This back one actually goes into the bottom of the steering column, so it is threaded. You can see that's that one. So make sure when you reinstall them, you put them in the same spot. Like I said, 2 of them are plastic, and I'll show you. It has a different thread. It's more like a wood screw, if you will. So just be aware of that when you reinstall. Okay. Take the 3rd one out. Now I've already loosened most of these, so we can go a little bit quicker through the tutorial here. Okay, next thing you're going to do, once you have those screws out, you're going to grab the bottom of the plastic and you're going to separate this piece from the top piece, which are just held together by some plastic clips. And the best place I've seen to grab is down here on the back. Well, you just kind of shake it a little bit. You can see it's popping free. There we go. So now it popped free. So to get that off a little easier, if you release your tilt wheel and put the handle down, this thing will come forward and you can slide it off without having to mess with this handle at all. So now that we're going to do the top, so the bottom's off, we're going to push the steering column down, and let's lock it into place again in the down position. Now the top one will come off by going up, kind of slide it over towards the passenger side, and you may have to move it around a little bit to get it to slide up your shift arm here, your gear selector. There's a rubber boot at the top, and you just slide that off gently until it comes off. That's that rubber boot right there. So, okay, that's off, so we'll set those aside. Okay, next thing we're going to do, using our Phillips head screwdriver, we've got 3 screws holding on this entire module, and the control arms and your clock spring. These are gold in color. You've got one here. You've got one here, and then I'll show you the 3rd here in a second. Let's take these ones out. Again, I pre-loosen these. There's one. Make sure that wherever you set these guys, you don't lose them. There's 2, okay? And the third one, if you actually go up here to the top and you look underneath this wiring harness, if you push it back just a little bit, you can see there's a single Phillips head screw, okay? A little harder to get out. You may want to actually unplug this plug to get it out of your way. You're going to be unplugging that anyways. And that one kind of backs out at an angle. It's a little hard to grab because it's buried in there, but you can reach in with your fingers and get it. Okay, let's set that aside. Okay, probably should have done this first, but let's go ahead and lock our clock springs, clock spring into place. I already pre-did these with these zip ties. Kind of wrap it around the arm and then fasten that one there. Do the same thing to the other side. Like so. Okay, so you see I've just held it. So now the clock spring won't spin out of its place. And I mean, if it does spin out of its place, you can reset it. There's other videos to do that, but why make extra work for yourself when just a couple zip ties will do? Okay. So next thing we're going to do, we've got I think it was 4 plugs. So we've got 5 plugs. So the first one we already did right there, that's 1. We've got a big one here, you press down and pull back. That's 2. Another big one on the other side. 3. Now under here by the handle, you just got a single green one. This one was the hardest to do with one hand, so I just kind of pre-did it. So right there. Okay, so that's 4. Now we've got one more to go, but it's part of the airbag. And it actually loops the wires here on the top, and it loops around your ignition. And it's actually easier to unhook these 2 ignition wires right here, or these plugs to your ignition. There's 1, there's 2, okay? Now they're not connected to it, but they're in the way. Okay, the next thing, you've got like a plastic clip right here. That's what you're going to use your needle nose pliers or something. You're going to pinch that and pop that free, okay? And then down here underneath, you've got this yellow plug. These are kind of a springy loaded thing. Let's see if we can do it. It likes to move. There we go. So we get that unhooked, okay? And then using our needle nose pliers or something, you've got these little tabs, and you're just going to want to unclip. Maybe. It's easier to do with my hands, I guess. There we go. So I just unclipped this. You can slide this out, but it's such a flimsy little thing. It's just easier to unclip it. And then by bringing this cable up around those ignition, you can even plug the ignition plugs back in if you want, just so you don't forget about it. I'm assuming you're not going to go anywhere. There we go. Okay, and then from this point, we are completely off, and your entire unit will just slide off in your hand. Alrighty? So that is that. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for this video. I hope that helps you out. We do have to do another video on the entire dash, but I'm not looking forward to it. So thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, if you're enjoying these videos, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if this helped you out or if you have any other advice for me. So, all right guys, we'll see you on the next one.